interesting, some new announcements we've been waiting for, and I can't even believe they're going to be doing this. I have all the details and everything you need to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so first off, remember in the last video a couple hours ago I talked about how administration is calling on Congress to pass another COVID relief bill? Well, we just got some updates on it. They're now saying that the next COVID relief bill is likely going to be combined with another Ukraine relief bill in the Senate. So this is something that they typically do when bills are working their way through the House and the Senate. There's a lot of times that they combine these different bills into one big old package when they push it through all at the same time. So apparently this is a more efficient way to get things done, or it is just one of these ways that they can combine a bunch of things into one package and maybe conceal a few things within them, then they get it through the legislative process. In regards to the next COVID relief bill, originally it's 22.5 billion, then it went down to 10 billion. But recently I did not see on this latest report $1 amount as far as what it will actually be. That should be released here relatively soon, but they are currently working on another COVID relief bill in conjunction with another Ukraine relief bill at the same time. And the report said they are likely going to combine these into one package when it gets into the Senate. Let's get right into other updates here. Apparently, Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin had a meeting. They had a meeting, so what did they say? Now, if you are not familiar with who these two guys are, by the way, Chuck Schumer is the leader of the Senate on the Democratic side, and Joe Manchin is the guy who's kind of on the fence. Technically, he's a Democrat. When it comes to a lot of these decisions, he does sign with Republicans quite a bit with a lot of different issues. So the simple fact of the matter is, Chuck Schumer is far left. Meanwhile, Joe Manchin is pretty much in the middle, right? So these guys have met and they have a little meeting here. It's kind of a big deal. Anyway, let's quickly talk about what they discussed here. First off, they are considering another reconciliation bill. A reconciliation bill is actually one of these bills that they only need 50 votes in the Senate, plus the tie-breaking vote from the Vice President. Which, by the way, that is exactly what the last stimulus package was. That was the $1.9 trillion package that contained the $1,400 stimulus checks a year ago. That's the kind of point behind this reconciliation bill. These are the bills that they can get through Congress relatively quickly with just a simple vote in the Senate, 50 votes. That's all they need to get this thing through. So we've been waiting, wondering, are they going to do another reconciliation bill? Well, pretty much they're going to be, because if they lose any seats in the Senate or they potentially lose power in the House of Representatives, there may actually be a game over with the reconciliation bill. They're going to do another reconciliation bill before the midterm elections. They're talking about reducing the deficits, as in all the debt that this country has, over $30 trillion in debt. So one thing they want to do is raise taxes. And of course, they want to pay down some of this debt that is outstanding in this country. Anyway, what they're considering doing is raising the corporate tax rates up to 25%. They're going to raise the capital gains rate up to 28%. They are currently working on this, but at the same time, Joe Manchin is also having discussions with Republicans and discussing other bills over there as well. So he's having a few different discussions here, and we have to see what transpires here relatively quickly. Alright, now let's talk about what the Biden administration is discussing. This is actually pretty big news, because this is actually going to impact about 43 million or so people, generally 40 plus million people, in a really big and positive way. Here's what it comes down to. The Biden administration has announced they're examining and looking into any and all means and methods that they can reduce and completely wipe out all student loan debt. Either all or the most, the vast majority of all student loan debt. As of right now, there's about $1.6 trillion in federal student loans that are outstanding, impacting about 43 million people out there. So that's what they're doing. Again, it's $300 billion short, but when we're talking $1.5 trillion, what's $100 billion when it comes to $1.5 trillion? It's a very small percentage. My point is a lot of money. They're looking at wiping this whole thing out. They said that they're gonna have a decision sometime before August. Well, realistically, August is that not far away, right? Right now, the federal student loan debt repayments do not restart until September 1st. But they've also already indicated that they will likely to push out once again if they don't figure out this cancellation before then. So it looks like a couple of good things here. If you are a federal student loan borrower, number one, worst case scenario, they're probably going to push it out beyond September 1st. And number two, they're looking at any means possible where they can completely cancel all federal student loan debts. Now, why wouldn't they cancel all of it? If they leave, a couple 100 billion remaining, I'm not really sure the reason why they couldn't do all of it, but they want to do all of it, or the vast majority. Again, that could be pretty exciting for a lot of people out there. However, at the same time, I do know that this is kind of a controversial topic, so I'm very curious to hear from you. What do you think about this whole federal student loan cancellation? If you are somebody who doesn't have federal student loans, what do you feel about this? I am curious. Do you feel like, you've been a little bit betrayed? Do you feel like they should give you something if they whipped out $40,000 of debt from one person? Do you feel like they should cut you a check for 40 grand too? I don't know. I'm just making this up. I'm just curious to hear some opinions if you're interested in sharing. So again, thanks so much for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video.